What if I told you that your absolute best, most experienced supply chain managers are actually the single biggest threat to your grocery margins? Now, it's not because they aren't working hard, it's simply because they're human. Welcome to a special investigative report from the Human Error News Network. Today, we're uncovering exactly why human calculation is fundamentally breaking down in the modern grocery supply chain, and more importantly, how you can architect a system that never sleeps, never guesses, and honestly, never forgets.
Here's the docket for tonight's broadcast rundown. We've got 1. The 100 billion spoilage crisis. 2. Limits of human calculation. 3. Transformer models and predictive analytics. 4. Agentic AI and cloud architecture. 5. Eradicating ghost inventory. And 6. Scaling your autonomous roadmap.
Let's dive right into Section 1, the 100 billion spoilage crisis.
Look, I want to speak directly to your hidden nightmare right now, that relentless tide of perishable waste. Look at this number. In 2022 alone, retail shrinkage hit a staggering $112 billion. And we're not just talking about shoplifting here. This massive loss is driven by the sheer impossibility of a human mind trying to calculate multivariable demand across 30 to 50,000 different SKUs. You're dealing with sudden weather changes, local events, viral social media trends, supplier shorts. I mean, unless your manager is literally a cyborg, no human being can do that math in real time.
Now, look at the stark contrast on this slide. We are all battling this fragmentation together, right? But relying on 24-hour batch processing delays and spreadsheet fatigue, that's a systemic structural failure. It is not a lack of effort from your team. We absolutely have to move past those static, manual moving averages and transition into probabilistic, SKU, store day forecasting that operates entirely in real time.
Moving right along to Section 2, limits of human calculation.
Be honest, do you subconsciously feel like you're constantly putting out fires instead of preventing them? Look closely at this comparison. Your current tech stack is very likely lagging in Generation 1 or 2, where humans are forced to reconcile data way after the fact. And here is the brutal truth. By the time your team manually spots the variance, you've entirely missed the window to prevent the margin loss. You are literally just reporting on the casualty. Generation 3 is where we must go, where systems are AI native, predictive, and fully autonomous.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real-world consequence of staying in the past. Spoilage is so heavily tied to these human-led inefficiencies. Think about it. The intersection of supply chain latency and demand volatility destroys margins before human operators even notice. Imagine a short shipment of avocados arriving 3 hours late during a massive heat wave. If your markdown logic is still tied to a human noticing the problem out on the floor, well, that value just evaporates right into the dumpster.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, Transformer Models and Predictive Analytics.
To prove how solvable this actually is, I want to share a crucial insight from industry leaders who are actively navigating this right now. Look at this quote from Helios. "We're not selling a better forecast of the sky, we're selling a forecast of the shelf." I love that because it perfectly captures the shift. It's not just about knowing it's going to rain. It's about using transformer-based time series models and graph neural networks to understand incredibly complex variables in real time. Like, how exactly does a 2-degree temperature drop in Chicago affect organic kale sales? A spreadsheet literally can't tell you that, but these models can.
So the real question is, how does this actually work in practice? Well, this process map shows how systems like Afresh integrate real-time POS and inventory data into a unified cloud platform. It essentially acts as a digital twin of your inventory. It pulls historical data and daily feeds, runs it all through a custom transformation layer, and pushes it directly to a store app. The result? This exact architecture is slashing fresh item spoilage by 20%.
All right, let's look at Section 4, Agentic AI and Cloud Architecture. Let's map out how we actually build this digital twin together, because this is your new operational paradigm. We're talking about agentic AI systems. Now, these aren't just pretty analytics dashboards, they are autonomous agents acting as digital supervisors. They continuously monitor your SKUs in real time, executing restocking decisions and dynamic markdowns entirely without human-in-the-loop delays. You are essentially deploying an intelligence layer that completely replaces the manual drudgery in your retail workflows.
Let's look at what these agents actually do out in the wild. It's called closed-loop orchestration. Imagine a massive blizzard is predicted. Your multi-agent platform automatically pulls forward essential orders, stuff like milk, bread, and salt, while simultaneously pausing highly perishable orders that just aren't going to sell during a lockdown. It's dynamically negotiating with supplier agents. It completely removes the human delay that causes massive stockouts and waste.
Next up, Section 5, Eradicating Ghost Inventory. We have to address the silent killer of customer trust here, ghost inventory. This is when your system thinks an item is in stock, but physically, that shelf is totally empty. By utilizing overhead computer vision, IoT sensors, and shelf-scanning robots, you eliminate the human error of manual stock audits entirely. We are taking human eyes out of the equation for basic counting, because frankly, human vision cannot scale accurately across 50,000 SKUs every single hour of the day.
This is what that hardware-to-software synergy actually looks like in action. The AI detects the gap and sends an immediate alert directly to an associate's mobile device. It says, Aisle 4, Section B is out of heavy cream. Restock from backroom now. This provides a 99% accurate real-time view, guaranteeing shelf integrity while freeing up your staff to actually engage with your customers. But how do you actually deploy this without causing chaos?
That brings us to Section 6, Scaling Your Autonomous Roadmap.
Look, theory is great, but execution is literally everything. I want to empower you with a clear roadmap so you don't get trapped in what the industry calls pilot purgatory. The staircase implementation model is your actionable path, right now. Step 1, unify and clean your POS and inventory data into a cloud architecture. Garbage in means garbage out, so you have to fix that data layer first. Step 2, implement this in one high-impact category, like produce or deli. Prove the ROI and let the system learn. Step 3, once it's validated, expand to full agentic orchestration across your entire enterprise.
So here is my direct challenge to you. When you audit your current POS integration tomorrow morning, look closely at whether your architecture provides the real-time visibility necessary to protect your margins. As you sit down and review your Q3 variants, you need to ask yourself, are your systems natively designed to correct human error, or are you just guessing and documenting the losses?
And as you review that architecture, keep in mind the core mission of this Human Error News Network Special Report to help you, the Senior Operations Architect, build a truly resilient, ROI-driven control layer for retail operations. Remember, the grocery industry is no longer just about selling food. It is about synchronizing decisions under constant uncertainty. But mastering shelf-level replenishment, that's just the foundation. Ask yourself this. What happens to your margins when this exact same autonomous, agentic logic is applied to entirely eliminate supplier fraud and reverse logistics bottlenecks?